So it's Friday, November 6th, and we have good news to share. The U.S. House of Representatives took action this week, and they spent 3 days discussing their highway bill, a bill that they call the STAR Act. And it's a bill, of course, that allows ATA the opportunity to advance its policy agenda. And we've been working throughout 2015, and here we are in early November. And the House spent those 3 days, passed its bill just yesterday, and they did that, and it was a bit of a lift. And there were more than 300 amendments filed to change the bill throughout this week. Ultimately, the House considered about 125 of those amendments. And so the House passed the bill. Good news for ATA and its members is that we do have some significant language, positive language in there on CSA reform, on younger drivers, the opportunity to have younger drivers operate across state lines in a safe, responsible way. As we have some language that curbs tolling. We also have a brand new freight program, which is a big policy objective of ATA and our membership. And also something we've been working on for many years, the allowance of hair testing as a part of the DOT drug testing program. So that's terrific. Those are 5 good victories. We also defeated some of the amendments to strip some of that language out of the bill. So that's what's in the bill, a little bit about the content, the fact that it's passed the House. Some of the ATA members may recall that the Senate has already passed their highway bill. They did that back in July. So the Senate has its bill, the House now has its bill, which is terrific. The next step in the process is for both the House and Senate to conference these bills, to put a conference committee together, work through the differences in the bills, ultimately create one single bill, get it passed back in the House and Senate, and submit it to the President. We think that that's possible before November 20th when the current extension runs out. If it's not possible, there may be another short-term extension of the highway bill and the highway program into December. But we're optimistic. It's not a done deal yet, but we're optimistic that this really does have a chance to happen this year. And if it does, it will be a significant victory for ATA and its members, as well as for the states and the overall U.S. economy. So good news to report, and I'm glad to be here to report it. If this bill ultimately gets conferenced and gets passed and is signed by the President, which we believe it probably will be at this point later this year, it's not only good for trucking, it's good for the economy, and it's good for the states, the State Department of Transportation, because they have the opportunity now to plan their projects, both smaller projects as well as larger projects. And in the past 10 years, with these sort of short-term extensions or short-term reauthorization bills, the states really haven't had that opportunity. And something I didn't mention earlier, this is a 6-year bill. It may not have 6 years of funding, it's got 3 years of funding, but it's a 6-year bill, so it has a longer term horizon to it, which is great. It allows the states to plan, but also to start these projects relatively soon. So projects will happen, but the larger projects really to maintain or even add capacity to the highway system, it'll take years, but that's what this is about. This is about providing that certainty going forward and the funding going forward.